What's up guys, my name is Anshul and today in this video, let us quickly talk about the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 and the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip FE because a lot of things have changed as of now as we have got an update in the terms of the processors about all of these smartphones as I just said because the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 and the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip FE, they would not come with a Snapdragon processor but those are the smartphones that will finally again be started to sell under the name of the Exynos brand. Now again, the Z Flip 7 it will come with an Exynos 2500 processor, whereas the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip FE it will come with an Exynos 2400E processor. But the thing is that the Snapdragon 8 Gen Elite processor is again one of the best in the market, and if you just want to compare it with something like the Exynos processor, it better be a very good one. Now, the Snapdragon 8 Gen Elite processor has been reviewed by MKBHD, Tape2D, and a lot of other tech YouTubers, and we have seen a very good thing in these chipsets, and that is the performance and at the same time the power to watt usage on these chips are really good, and also the thermal performance is one of the best ones that we have been seeing on these latest developments from the Qualcomm ones. But now the thing is that the Exynos was never a processor that was the best one in the terms of the battery life, and seeing a similar chipset in the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 is something that would be a surprise to me because in the past we have already seen that the Exynos processors were not the one that were best in the class in the terms of the power to the consumption ratio that we have got on this processor. But things might be different because again Samsung knows that the battery is one of the biggest things that they want to deliver on the flip devices, and already I am using the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6 and the performance and the battery on this device is phenomenal, and I honestly think so that Samsung might be working with Google on this one to make sure that their chips are a bit more efficient. We have seen that the G4 tensor chip that we have seen in the Google Pixel 9 is one of the most efficient one with a very good performance as well, even though if it is not the best one and even though if it is not the fastest chip that we have seen in the market. But the latest leaks also suggest that the G5 tensor chip that we will see in the Google Pixel 10 series, it is going to be almost twice as fast as what we have got on the Google Pixel 9, which also means that as these tensor chips and the Exynos chips are not very much different, there would be a lot of good things about the Exynos chipsets that we would see in the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7. Now, there is another leak that we have been seeing, and that is that the TSMC would be the brand behind the manufacturing of these Exynos 2500 chips, and that is again the same leaks as what we are seeing on the G5 tensor chip on the Google Pixel 10 series, and that is not a bad thing at all. I think so that the G5 tensor chip would be one of the most amazing chipsets in the coming year, and I'm just following the leaks, and it is again 2 times as fast as what we saw on the Google Pixel 9 series, and that is a good thing for the Samsung devices. The thing is that Samsung might be just moving towards the Exynos chips as the mainstream chipsets in the future, and that is just because a lot of AI stuff that is happening in the market, you need to make sure that your data is a bit more secured and it is not shared with the third-party stuff, and that is Qualcomm over here. If you're just producing everything in-house and if you have a better control over the architecture, I think so it is a win-win situation for Samsung to make the devices a bit more secure. And also if these chips are really good and if Samsung just wants to make the Exynos chipsets as a mainstream on the flip devices, it could be that the Samsung Galaxy S27 Ultra could also come with an Exynos chipset, and that is the future of the Samsung devices. That what I wanted to discuss in this video. I think so it is a great move, and even though that the Snapdragon chipsets are one of the best in the market, we just want to see something that is fresh, and also with a lot of AI developments that we have been seeing in the market, you need to make sure that the updates are a bit more quick and you just have a better control over the updates on the devices, and that is exactly that what Samsung would just want to do. So yes, I think so that it is a great move to keep the Snapdragon 8 Gen Elite processor with the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra at least this year and move towards the Exynos processor as a mainstream for the next year. But now talking about the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, I just wanted to add a few more things as in my opinion the smartphone looks a bit more refined if you compare it with the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. It is a bit more flatter in my opinion, and also the back design, even though it is not very different from the Samsung Galaxy S20 4 Ultra, which was similar to the S22 Ultra as well. I think so it is again a good move because you just want to make the things a bit more better, a bit more cleaner, and I think so that the design on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra was again one of the more cleaner designs. And also on the front, I think so they have tried to shave down a lot of bezels from the smartphone and make it a bit more flatter. Again, a design that is very similar to the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, actually the Z Fold 6 as we have seen in this year. Again, a good move from Samsung in my opinion, and the device that I am really looking forward to. Now, one more thing that I noticed was that the ultra-wide camera on the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra is now updated to a 50 megapixel one, but still there is no 1-inch camera sensor. Again, I have been asking this thing from Samsung and Apple for the longest time, but still this is something that is not happening with the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra for this year or the Q1 of the year 2025. And well, if we just want to learn more about the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, it should be somewhere over here or here. There would be an eye mark, so you would be able to see the entire video about the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. You have got a new processor, you have got a bigger display, and also this Bixby feature that is combined with Gemini is also a good one as well. Well, with that said, that was all that I wanted to share about the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 and the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip FE. And in my opinion, I'm just looking forward to these devices, and I'm just looking towards the future of the Samsung devices that does look like a bit more of Exynos than the Snapdragon processors that we have been seeing on the Samsung smartphones from the longest time. Well, do let me know in the comment sections below that do you think that this Exynos 2500 chipset would be similar to the G5 Tensor chip or no? Do let me know. My name is Anshul. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.